So scores are your Katie standards that you are required to do through each clinical rotation. Standards are also taught in each of the classes that you have, but they're assessed in clinical practice as well. So this is where ATrack gets a little confusing for you, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video. So if you click here on scores, you see that it brings you up to that part that we talked about on your dashboard, and where you click to the side in scores and you view scores, and they're here. Well, as you can see, there's nothing here other than the standards. There's no progression. But then if you go here to where I showed you how you can do the course matrix and you look, it shows here. So it shows this green check. Well, that green check is deceiving, because that green check does not mean that it's been signed off by your preceptor. It just means that it is instructed and evaluated in this course. So once your preceptor signs off on some of your standards and you view scores, you show progression. Well, so now we see that. So let's scroll down and find that. So, okay, we have here different levels of how the preceptor signs off. And your preceptor just remembered to sign another one to show all of the different items. So what we're looking for when your preceptor signs off is an EP or an MP. Those mean that you meet expectations or you exceed expectations. NP is not proficient, needs work, not there. So preferably, I want your preceptor to put a comment to tell us what's going on. So for this one, exceeds expectations. Great job working with team doctor. Mandatory reporting obligations, is not proficient, needs to work on knowing when to report. And then HIPAA just shows in meet expectations. We really don't know any information about it, but that is okay because we've met the standard. So what this means is that even though this standard is signed, you're not done with this standard yet, because it still needs to be EP or MP. So that is where you're like, okay, now I went back in here and I've looked, I'm like, oh, I need to work on that. I need to figure out how I need to know that. As well as with standards, you see these points beside these? These mean that they're subcategories of the main one. So mandatory reporting obligations doesn't mean anything, except when you look at it, it says that you're practicing a healthcare manner that is compliant with the BOC standard of professional practice and applicable institutional, organizational, local, state, and federal laws, regulation, rules, and guidelines. Applicable laws and regulations include, but are not limited to, the following. So that's important to know, because in some classes, we don't always have that initial standard assigned with your substandards. So some of them could be, as you may just have this one here that says this other musculoskeletal injuries, but you don't know what that 70 means. So with that one, go back up and you find that that means that you know when to evaluate, manage, and so on. So that's how you can use this screen to help you and your preceptor out to figure out what those numbers mean. And I will let you know that none of these right here in this section will be signed off throughout the program. Those are just prerequisite courses, foundational knowledge. Everything else is what is signed off on.